Today we'll be going over some of the Brothers War spoilers that were released. These are the set after Dominator United, in which I think it takes place mostly from the past, or I think lore from the past, and maybe I think they're expanding upon it. But these are basically a bunch of iconic characters sort of being redone, reimagined in the new modern day and age. So we're going to see a lot of things like Urza, Mishra, Hercule, people that haven't got cards like Urza's wife, a lot of cool things here, and yeah, they were just released and I guess spoiled, and I'll just get my take on them. So let's get into it. So first up is the one and only Urza Lord Protector, colorless, a white and a blue, for a legendary creature, human artificer. Has artifact, instant, switch spells you cast cost 1 less. Also has 7 and activate if you both own and control Urza Lord Protector and an artifact named the Mightstone and Meekstone, exile them and then meld them into Urza Planeswalker, activate only as a sorcery, 2/4 creature. Immediately looking at this, I'm just like, that's a lot of mana. It's a lot of mana for this card. I think in context of the other cards though, perhaps it could be really cool and synergistic, and that basically your deck becomes a, I guess including Soul Ring if you're playing Commander, a 97 card deck, which is, you know, cool, I guess. Get to play as your favorite demigod, that is Urza. Although he's not really in his crazy form that I'd expect them to sort of make, because I feel like most of the time they said, I think at least at one point in time, that they couldn't make Urza into an actual Planeswalker in a set, because he would just be OP if they wanted to make him how he really would have been. But I think we're one step closer. Like, maybe once I reveal the Planeswalker, you'll understand, like, wow, Urza must have been a strong character. Like, this is one of the only Planeswalkers that sort of gets this treatment. And I hope that is the case, right? Like I hope not too many Planeswalkers sort of get, like, this crazy, unique effect, making Urza somewhat special. But yeah, this is 7 mana. You need to have the Mightstone, Weakstone, and Urza, and you have to both own and control, which I think is common with the flip Planeswalkers. I don't think the other Planeswalkers require you to have another, like, permanent, but you did have to, like, at least control it. Even if you controlled it, it didn't matter, because it had to be put into exile, so even if someone controlled it and they activated it, usually the owner would just get it. I can't think of any case where the owner wouldn't, because it puts itself in exile once it returns. It's under its owner's control. I believe that's the case. I believe. So yeah, this is pretty much, I guess, standard. Although I guess if you don't, I guess if you own like a Might and Weakstone, but you don't control it, this means if someone like steals your artifact or mana rock, that is what basically Mightstone is. Maybe that could be problematic, but you're playing white and blue. Like, you can bounce it back or something, right? Like, I believe in you. You'll find some way to deal with it. Yeah, this is a cool card. I think it's really thematic, but I'm not quite sure how strong it is. Definitely people will see play with it. Is there a way to go infinite with this? I guess there is. I guess y'all haven't seen the actual Urza Planeswalker. Let's go into it. Actually, no, let's go into the Mightstone and Weakstone first, because y'all understand that Urza does meld, in fact, into a Planeswalker from a creature. I really wish Ugin got this treatment. Maybe in the future. So the next card is the Might and Weakstone. The Mightstone and Weakstone. 5 mana artifact. Legendary artifact. Power Stone. When the Mightstone, Weakstone enters the battlefield, choose one. Draw 2 cards. Enter creature is -5, -5 on a turn. And it enters and taps for 5 mana immediately. You have to use it to cast. You can't spend the mana to cast non-artifact spells, so you can use it to activate Urza, or activate another ability. The cool thing about this is it gets immediate value. Say if you have Urza out, this becomes a 4 mana artifact, and so play Urza on 3, and you can cast this on turn 4 because Urza reduces the mana cost by 1. Pretty cool synergy, right? But wait, there's more. Not only do you get this artifact out, you can draw 2 cards from it. So basically replaces Urza and I guess itself for drawing 2 cards, like sort of pseudo card draw thing going on here. Or you can use it to take out a creature. I think like the Mightstone, actually I'm not quite sure. Is the Mightstone the part that gives a creature -5/-5, or is that the Weakstone? I don't know. Can someone tell me? I really don't know. And then we have the less ability, which I guess makes this card sort of like a 3 mana artifact, because it comes in and taps for 2. Maybe you can go as far to say a 2 mana artifact, because Urza makes it -1, so it's 4 mana, and then it comes in and taps for 2. So 2 mana question mark? I don't know. But it does tap for mana, kinda, sorta. So once in fact you do get this Might Stone and Weak Stone, and you have Urza out, say you didn't play land or didn't have a land, basically you're gonna be at 5 mana. So you have 2 mana from this, and then you have, I guess, 3 mana from casting Urza, assuming you didn't hit your land drop. That's 5 mana. If you hit your land drop, you have 6 mana. Now Urza costs 7 mana to activate. So from turn 3 you get turn 4 artifact with Might Stone and Meek Stone, potentially, if you hit your land drop. Or if you don't hit your land drop, because Urza -1's the mana cost. But if you do hit all your land drops in a row here, you do get Urza Planeswalker. Whoa, amazing, cool, who saw that coming? Which I think is neat. Like, you go straight from turn, you have something to do every turn, just by virtue of sort of casting your commander, and like it still has like a lot of value to it, even if your commander were to be removed. Like, I think it's pretty neat. But then, yeah, we got the whole thing, like, everything's a value engine thing going on, because maybe your commander is supposed to be a value engine. Maybe that's how commander is supposed to be played. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. You get Urza Planeswalker. Neat. It's legendary Planeswalker named Urza, yes. But it has this cool ability. You may activate this loyalty ability of Urza Planeswalker twice each turn, rather than only once. Wow. So, any of these abilities out of the 5 can be activated twice. Now, you're probably not going to activate the -10 twice a turn. But in the case you do, you know, kudos. You're probably going to be activating any of the other abilities twice each turn. So let's go with the other abilities. So the first ability is a +2 artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. You gain 2 life. So if you +2 twice, that's +4. So that next turn you can -10. But that's a -4 for like any 4 mana artifact for free, basically, with some life. Like, that's pretty strong. That's really good. That's a free, oh gosh, Lotus Petal? Not Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal's already free. I don't know. Name any 4 mana artifact and you can play it for free. That's cool. That's cool. That's not even like in conjunction with any of the permutations you could think of when activating these abilities, right? You've got the draw 2 cards and discard a card. Okay, we've seen that in Shurikai. Do that twice, so you can see 4 cards deep. Neat. That's for the +1. And you have the 0 for 2 and 1s. So this is like quite interesting. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like this, but like this ability also makes 4 resources as well. So we sort of see like a weird sort of thing going on. Maybe it's not weird. Maybe it's just like how things are supposed to be balanced. Like 4 is just a good number to balance things around. But activating Urza twice will get you 4 2/2s. I feel like I'm like making up things here, but like the fact that Urza also has like a bunch of 2 mana, actually not a lot of 2 mana things, but like drawing 2 cards, tapping for 2 mana from the Power Stone, is like 2s and 4s everywhere. All right, I'm just linking things together. Wizards on something. 2 and 4. I don't know. I'm trying to triangulate something. But anyways, yeah, you can activate this twice. It'll stay at 7 loyalty, and you get essentially just like 4 blockers, which, okay. Also, they are artifact fodder, so if you have anything to sack, whatever, use it there. -2 is his second to last ability, which is exile target non permanent. You also like a good Vindicate, more or less. So I guess what is this instead of not Vindicate? Isn't there like a Vindicate destroys any target permanent, but this only destroys non-land permanent. Is it a I don't know what it is. Is it a Vindicate? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, the strong ability removes things, can remove 2 things without even killing itself. Pretty cool, pretty strong. And then you have -10. So I assume once you +2, +2 or +1 or something, some variation of Urza's abilities eventually at -10. This basically sets you up to win, I would like to think. So this destroys all non-land permanents, but gives all your artifacts and planeswalkers indestructible. So it's a one-sided non-emblem ability, which is interesting, because I think I would assume like emblems are just like one of those things that persist throughout the game and usually win the game. But this, you know, might win the game as well. But it's not like crazy because it's not permanent, which I sort of expect Urza to have. Like, I don't know what ability you want to give Urza, but I feel like having a emblem ability would sort of push him to, you know, show that he is like a really strong dude. But even then, destroying everything, that's, I guess, thematic, because didn't Urza do the whole Ruinous Blast thing? So I guess that's what's sort of being depicted there. I don't know, but like one of my favorite things about Magic cards is sort of thinking about why the abilities they chose and like what kind of connection it has to the lore. And I think that fits that, right? So Urza, pretty destructive. So the -3, -10 makes sense. He's an artificer, so he's making things. He's, I guess, a thinker. I mean, I guess if that's the case, I feel like most artificers fall in that line of thought. So every artificer should make the +2. I don't know. It's cool to link them. I don't know. It sort of reminds me of like Pokemon attacks. Like, oh, he's got a electric tail, so he's gonna know electric tail attack or something like that, right? It's like sort of linking those like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm too memey. Anyways, yeah, Urza's cool. I don't think it'll be too strong in Commander. I think he's like fairly slow. Of course, a lot of the things that he's doing only requires you to get him to 7 mana. 7 mana at sorcery speed. Sorcery speed might be a little rough because you can just he can get killed and then it's like a little weird. But if you don't mind that, it's basically like a super valuable planeswalker to have. I could totally see people playing it. Shoot, I might even make my Raft deck Urza. 3 mana, blue white. I'm trying to make my other deck. Ooh. Listen, I wanted to do a different video today, but they had revealed these, so I was just like, I gotta do a video on this. But anyways, yeah, Urza Planeswalker, super sweet. Not the biggest fan, but I do like the fact that they're pushing more blue-white stuff. I feel like blue-white still doesn't have like a lot of cool, crazy shenanigans that other dual colors have. Like blue-white still seems to be like one of the undervalued ones. Like all their stuff is super like, I keep saying like lap. All the other stuff seems to be too slow and like Azorius oriented, which makes games sort of, I don't know, like a drag. Because everyone's sort of just nodding at you like, okay, yeah, you're doing your Azorius thing, whatever, we gotta attack you. But then you see the Simic people, and then you see the Reckless people just getting all the value, and just, why don't you attack? Oh, I'm just trying to get my Azorius value. I don't know. Anyways, next. Let's go next. We have Queen Kayla, Din Krog. 1 red and a white. Wow. So, Boros and Azorius from Urza and his wife. It's cool. Big fan. We love our white aligned cards here. So this is a legendary creature, human noble, for 4 mana. Tap. Discard all cards in hand, then draw that many cards. You may choose an artifact or creature card with mana value 1 that you discard this way, then do the same for an artifact or creature card with mana values 2 or 3. Return those cards to the battlefield. Actually, only a sorcery. 2/3. So this is another cool thing. It sort of just lends itself to being a nice curver. Is that a word? Basically, you play this on curve, turn 4, you have something to do immediately. Cycles through your whole hand. Seems kind of nutty. I don't know. I'm definitely liking her attire. I like the fact that this is like a really neat utility white-red card, because they still haven't made a lot of neat utility white-red cards. The only one I can think of is Plarv that's like just generically good. Like this is generically good too. It's 4 mana, wheel your hand. Even if you're not playing an artifact or creature-based deck, this is still really good. In the event that you are, you probably are, you can get a Dockside for free. You can get any artifact that's 1, 2, or 3 mana for free. Just put on the battlefield. Oh, value. It's just gonna be too good. The set is gonna be too nutty. I just say that because all of my recent decks, anyways, have been sort of oriented around artifacts or white, because I just mostly play white, and it seems like a lot of that is coming through here. So there's gonna be a lot to choose from. I'm curious what I'm gonna be picking. I guess what I'm gonna be playing. It's gonna be interesting, but yeah, I don't know. This definitely lends itself to more of like a trio strategy, I feel like. But I don't want that to be the case. I want this to be more of a sort of grindy attrition-based deck. I don't know what that would look like, but I'm just thinking of things to build it. But you probably put your staples in there. Commander's getting super fast, so you probably put all the staple 3, 2, 1 drops. And you're just gonna churn through your deck like crazy, right? You can just play a bunch of things that ETB and do something, and then just get everything back. And actually, I think it encourages that sort of mindset as well, because once you discard things that have those ETB triggers, they come into the battlefield, so you're even getting a larger hand next time you untap with this. So that's pretty cool. Also, I don't know if it's a common thing, but they're adding this clause that things have to activate at sorcery speed. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel. Is that a good thing? It makes it feel like training wheels, but maybe the fact that they have that sort of nerfs it. It makes it easier for players because it doesn't add complexity. I think people were talking about how a lot of these new cards have been adding complexity because of all the new things that are being introduced. Mind you, like, mechanics have always been added throughout the game, or gimmicks have always been added throughout the game, but like adding more and more means the whole domain of all themes and mechanics are expanding, and so there's just much more things you have to take into account when thinking of playing a card, because someone might not know what it does, and that might throw them completely off, and you might win for it. So I guess that's what people say when they mean that, or what people mean when they say that sort of stuff. Anyways, cool card, big fan of it. I really want to make a deck out of it, but I already have an artifact deck, and I like my mono white, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. It's gonna be a hard choice. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this card. I think I like it a lot, but let's see. Next, we have Surge Engine, 2 for 3/2 artifact creature defender. For 1, okay, so this is like one of those ascendant things. For 1 blue, I'm sorry. Surge Engine loses defender and gains this creature can't be blocked. For 3 mana, Surge Engine becomes blue and has base power toughness 5/4, activate only if Surge Engine does not have defender. And then for 6, draw 3 cards, activate only once each turn, and if Surge Engine is blue. 3/2. So it's a, I already said 3/2, but I'm sorry. I'm repeating myself. So this is like a basic, I think Blue's already had one of these, but this is one of those basic level up cards essentially. I think they're neat. I'm not sure where they live. I think mostly tempo based decks want them. I feel like that's where I see mostly that blue snow one go, is just tempo decks. I think that's where this is probably gonna go if it sees play. Probably not too good. It's 6 mana. Oh, actually, this is at instant speed. I was thinking like, oh, is it sorcery speed? No, it's instant speed. This is dope. I like this. Might be a little too slow for commander, but hey, if you get, your different, you put in your costs and eventually get the 6 mana, do it instant speed. That's pretty neat. Even in standard, it's gonna be too much, right? Like, it's a 5/4, swings for a lot. It can't be blocked for 3 mana. That's pretty good. Has defender early, but has 2 toughness, so like it dies to any red. I don't think it's bad. I think it's definitely like a standard card though. Yeah, I think it's neat. Not much to say about it. Next up is one of my favorites. Recruitment Officer. 1 white for a 2/1 creature human soldier with 3 and a white. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest of the bottom library in a random order. This reminds me a lot of that 1 green card that sort of does the same thing. I think it's actually 3 mana for whatever it searches for as well. But this is in white. Big fan of this. I think white should have more effects like this. This is basically a white card advantage engine for 4. Big fan of it. I think if white has more effects like this and can play more to its like sort of meek strategy, I think this becomes really strong. And like even commander, where like, yeah, people have a bunch of stuff and they're cluttering the board, and so you can't swing in, but you're still like getting value out of this every turn. Say you have like 8 mana, it's like super late in the game, you're getting a lot of value out of this. That's 2 cards per turn. Yeah, this is needed. This is honestly, people were complaining about white not having card draw. This is like a standard card that I think would have been fine even a few years ago. Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, because they have things like not recruiter of the guard. They've had a lot of these before. I think at the at the early mana costs, like 3 mana and below. They've always had, like, they even had Mentor the Meek, but this is probably worse than Mentor the Meek in the long run. But I don't know. It's uncommon, so give it that. Also, if you're playing in standard, you can keep your mana up for the Wandering Emperor, so that'll be fun. You can play like a cool flash pseudo game here with this card. 4 mana is a good spot to have that. Yeah, this is a cool card. Definitely gonna play it in standard. I think it's probably standard playable, and gonna be rough for control decks to play against us because hitting those 1-drops, I hate that. I hate, especially with this being uncommon. Like, it's gonna be good for white and I guess white based aggro decks, but it feels that really weird when you like most of your counter spells and control cards are like such a higher mana value, and like you have to destroy this thing because it's 1 mana and it accrues value by itself if you don't take care of it. At first you're like, oh, it's just 2 damage. Then all of a sudden they start drawing cards off of it and they start like playing more cards, and you've got 2 counter spells stand. Yeah, this is a fun card. Not much else to say about it, but we'll definitely be looking to play it. But that'll conclude the video for the day. I think I'm gonna be super stoked for this set, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff to I guess play from it. And this is just the beginning, so yeah.